Hey, what's up everyone? Today we're going to take a look at Garland. He's the villain counterpart to Warrior of Light. In a lot of ways, he's his exact opposite. Garland is a vanguard type, but instead of being defensively focused like Warrior of Light is, he's very offensively focused. His unique ability is that after completing a certain number of attacks, he gains a Soul of Chaos buff that will empower his bravery attacks for 25 seconds. The buff includes different things depending on the attack, but it usually includes increased bravery damage, range, and making it more difficult to interrupt Garland's attack. While Soul of Chaos is active, Garland can actually do another set number of attacks to reach Soul of Chaos level 2, further buffing his bravery attacks. The wiki says it requires about 2 sets of attack combos to reach level 1, and then 2 sets further to reach level 2. Presumably this varies depending on what attacks you use and how often they connect, but it doesn't seem too difficult to set up as long as you can connect with some attacks on an enemy. Also, if you reach level 2 and the buff falls off, you return back to Soul of Chaos level 1 instead of losing the buff entirely. So reaching the second level of Soul of Chaos can power up Garland for nearly an entire minute. So the challenge of Garland is actually connecting his attacks. By default, his attacks are pretty powerful and have decent range, but they have slow startup, and it is easy for enemies to dodge Garland's attacks if they're paying attention to him. On top of that, Garland has one of the slowest movement speeds in the game. A good Garland player needs to be careful with his attack timing and making sure not to leave himself vulnerable when trying to connect with attacks and setting up Soul of Chaos. As a Vanguard character, Garland has a pretty powerful close to mid-range bravery moveset. His neutral ground attack gives him some close-range AoE, he's got a projectile in his back aerial, and many of his attacks have range that might surprise your opponent. Also, several of his attacks are multi-hit combos that can lock opponents down for a short period of time. His unique X skill is a quick, short-range attack, and if it connects, it holds a target down in place for a short period of time and deals a lot of damage over that time. It's one of the best abilities for locking someone down and allowing a teammate to follow up with an attack. Overall, Garland is a character that prioritizes offense, and if he can lock someone down, he can do some serious work. He has some decent HP attacks that follow his general design, slow to start up, but strong. The YouTuber we're going to follow here is Mahirok. He plays a few different characters, but he has a sick Garland, and he made it to the highest rank possible with him. So let's go ahead and jump right into our first match here and get a look at Garland. Alright, so in this first matchup here, Garland is going to be using the HP attack Earthquake. It's kind of like a drop-down, close-range melee attack, really similar to Spiral Cut, if you're familiar with that from Titus. And so the blue team is going to be Garland, Y'shtola, and Vaughn, going up against Zidane, Sephiroth, and Shantoto. So really balanced teams here on both sides. Vaughn kind of filling in for that assassin role on the blue team, but one marksman, one vanguard, and one assassin on both teams, basically. Okay, so what you're going to see here from Garland, you can kind of see as he's dashing around. He's not very fast. Not the same kind of speed you'd see from some other characters. So he's going to kind of just stick with his team here, throw out the long-range projectiles that he has. He's not the type of character that's just going to rush into the middle of the field because he can't really keep up with the enemy that well. So he's just going to kind of stick to his space and wait for others to move in on him. You saw Sephiroth move in there. Garland tried to punish him with an attack, but Sephiroth was able to move away. So he's just kind of trying to stick with his team here. He actually sees Zidane try to flank here and go on Y'shtola. So Garland's immediately going to hit him with that dash attack, knocking Zidane away. He's going to catch Sephiroth with an attack as Sephiroth tries to attack as well. And now as Zidane tries to move in once again on Y'shtola, Garland's just going to wall rush him here, do a ton of bravery damage. He's already got the second level of that Soul of Chaos buff. You see it by his health bar. So now he's just doing a ton of damage here. And he's going to drop that Earthquake there down on Sephiroth while he was in a wall rush. Pick up a kill there on him. So really fast action there by Garland, but you see how strong he is whenever people kind of invade his space. So he's going to take a quick hit there by Sephiroth, just taking a little bit of bravery damage. He's kind of regrouping with his team here. He's staying above the red team right now. He's going to drop down though, try to catch Shantoto with an attack, but does miss. He is going to catch her with that X skill of his though. Shantoto was kind of standing still trying to cast a spell, so he's going to deal a ton of damage there and kind of knocking her away. Now he's still got his eyes on her. He's going to try to use his dash attack on her, but she's actually going to be able to teleport out of the way. Red team is going to try to summon here. They're going to get it off. So he looks like he's trying to get an attack there off on Zidane. It looks like Zidane did get his shield up just in time though after the summon, so he is going to be able to shield Garland's attack here. So Zidane's just going to get knocked away here. You see Garland's trying to kind of move out of the way of Ramuh's attacks now. Like I said, he's a slower character, so he's going to have to be kind of smart about the way he dodges around. He's not going to have a lot of time to move out of the way. So now you see he's just moving kind of off to the side here away from the red team, just kind of leaving his team kind of fend for themselves. Sephiroth also has his X skill going. You see that green R there, which slows down anyone in there. So that would make it even more difficult for Garland to get out of the way. So he knows if he goes in there, he's a sitting duck. So he's just staying away, trying to throw out some of his projectiles here. He's using that flare attack, which has a decent range. Just trying to help out his team however he can without putting himself in a bad position. So now that Ramuh is ended, he's moving back in here. He's on the other side of the red team. using some of his zoning projectiles here. He's going to catch someone with that Thundaga. He's trying to catch Shantoto with his dash attack, but he's not going to connect with it the first time. He does hit her with the second time, though, as she stops to try to cast a spell. He's going to use his Mighty Strikes X skill, increasing the bravery he's going to gain from some of his attacks. And he's once again throwing out that flare from a distance, dealing a ton of bravery damage there. He's built up quite a lot of bravery, so he can easily pick up a kill on somebody if he can catch someone. Now, because he's got that kind of drop down HP attack, you see him kind of sharking above everybody here. He's trying to stay on top of everyone where it's difficult to see him, and just seeing if he can drop down on someone without them noticing. Sephiroth is kind of caught onto this though. Sephiroth is trying to chase him down, but now that they've turned their attention off of him, you see he's just kind of flanking behind the red team here, using that Thundaga to once again try to zone enemies out. He's got his eyes on Zidane right now, and it looks like the red team is really kind of ignoring him down below. He tried to move in, but his stamina bar did end, but he's still able to throw out that Earthquake while everyone was kind of focused on someone else and pick up a kill there on Sephiroth, dropping red team down to 1 health bar now. He tries to use some of his attacks there on Shantoto. Her X skill is going to leave her invulnerable though, so he's not able to connect with her on that. He is going to do a little bit of damage there to Zidane. And now once again, you see that green aura. Sephiroth is using that X skill, so Garland has to be careful about avoiding that. So once again, he's going back to just throwing out that flare, just trying to attack from a range so he doesn't get caught out by the red team. This does lead to some of his blue team members getting caught out in a 3v2 though, so they did lose a couple of health bars there. So now that Vaughn has respawned, you see Garland kind of trying to move back into the thick of things. Now it's a 3v3 once again. Tries to use his X skill there on Shantoto, but does miss. He gets caught by Sephiroth with just like a single attack there. He sees Zidane already doing a long combo chain there on Y'shtola, so really quickly tries to chase after him, uses that Earthquake, and actually picks up a kill before Zidane can really react to it. So great job there by Garland, using his HP attack really intelligently there, trying to shark above everybody. This is kind of a good map for it because it's difficult to see across those ridges and all those little cliffs. And it also lets you get kind of above somebody pretty easily because of you can kind of jump off the top of the cliff. So that way, you know, it's more difficult for the enemy team to see you. So great job there by Garland. Did a really good job picking up those kills. Also kind of showcased the control that Garland can have. You saw, especially towards the beginning of this match, whenever he was first kind of connecting with attacks and picking up that first kill, you saw how difficult it was for the red team to really get in on him as they tried to move towards him. He can control space really well. Kind of similar to Furion, he's got some AoE attacks and some really decent range for a Vanguard character. And also, a lot of his attacks have pretty decent armor as well, so it's tough to interrupt his attacks. So, you know, as people were kind of moving towards him, trying to duel him, he was kind of able to outrange them and just kind of build up a ton of bravery damage. And that's how he's able to pick up a lot of those kills, because he can build up his bravery so high really quickly. So, really great play here by the Garland player. You saw in a lot of instances as well that it can be kind of difficult to attack somebody just out in the open. Like, there was that exchange where Shantoto was kind of dodging his attacks kind of back and forth for a little while when they were just kind of dueling each other. And that's just because it's kind of difficult for Garland to fight somebody who has a ton of room to run just because his attacks are so slow and he himself is so slow. But if they're focused on something else, or if they're trying to trade attacks with you, that's when he really shines. So Garland is just a great character if you know how to use him. You saw our Garland player here not rushing into the middle of the battlefield, not just trying to, you know, do 2v1s or things like that. Really knowing that if you wait for the red team to come to you, it's pretty likely that you'll be able to punish their mistakes or kind of punish their position and deal a ton of damage. So great play here by him. Alright, so now we're going to move on to our next matchup here. Garland's actually going to be switching up his HP attacks. He's now going to be using one called Tsunami. And it's basically just like a longer range attack that just kind of comes out in front of him. Not really sure how to explain it. Kind of similar to a Dark Flame or a Lord of Arms attack, but doesn't quite have the same range as those two attacks. So it's another good one to just kind of zone out enemies and also combo with teammates. Okay, so we're going to have Garland, Cloud, and Titus on one team, and then Garland, Lightning, and Squall on the enemy team. So the blue team here is going to have 2 Vanguards, 1 Assassin. Red team's going to have a Vanguard and 2 Assassins. So Garland's going to have to be kind of careful here. Red team's got a lot of speed in Lightning and Squall, so he's going to have to make sure not to put himself in any vulnerable positions. So just like we saw in the last game though, he's going to start off just using some projectiles here, sticking with his team, and just making sure no one can get in on him. He throws out that neutral attack there, that AoE attack, just trying to make sure if Squall did move in, he would be able to catch him with an attack. But back to just throwing out those projectiles once again, and his 2 teammates are just kind of rushing around. Garland actually catches Cloud with a quick attack, so our Garland tries to attack him, but the enemy team Garland does move away. So that's that Tsunami HP attack right there. Just kind of want to point this out real quick. You see those dark blue circles in front of Garland? That's just kind of the extent of its range. It actually does have a pretty decent range. It may be similar size of Lord of Arms. But it's just one of those HP attacks you can use to kind of catch people off guard. You see he's kind of clipped Squall here and dealt a little bit of damage there. So anyways, moving on. He's rushing in here trying to help out Titus, but he knows he doesn't have a lot of speed. He's not going to be able to get there in time. So he just kind of deals with what's in front of him here. He dodges the red team Garland's attack, throws out that flare projectile, and just tries to help his teammates that way. He is going to be able to use that Tsunami here, just kind of trying to catch a red team member if they stop to attack a blue team member. Tries to catch Garland, but he's dashing away, so not going to hit him in time. Tries to move in towards Squall as he was attacking a blue team member, but Squall is able to dash away out of range. And now he's trying to move back with his team here. He got knocked away by lightning. He's going to use that Tsunami once again, just kind of forcing the red team to move out of the way and stop comboing his teammates here. So you see here, Titus has the red team Garland locked down in Slice and Dice here. Garland is kind of moving over towards Lightning, who is targeting Titus. And she's going to try to interrupt Titus with her own HP attack. So Garland is really quickly going to use his dash attack here to interrupt her, prevent her from stopping Titus. He's going to get caught by Squall for it, but at least Titus is able to finish that Slice and Dice, deal a lot of HP damage there to Garland. So nice job there by our Garland player just to interrupt her and to use that range to his advantage. So now he is up above the red team's Garland. Red team Garland is actually going to pick up a kill there on Titus. Our Garland is going to lock down Squall and Lightning with his X skill though, deal a ton of bravery damage to them. Even though he gets knocked away here, still got a lot of bravery. Titus is going to lock down Lightning in his Slice and Dice once again, but our Garland is going to use his Tsunami to actually pick up about 3,000 bravery damage to her, dealing a ton of HP damage and allowing the blue team here to summon now. So they're going to have Ramuh active here. We'll see if they can do anything with it. He tries to move in on Squall there, doesn't have quite enough range to reach him though. Is going to use a different attack to break Squall's bravery though, and actually give Garland a lot of bravery himself. So now he's trying to move in on the red team with such low speed though he's not really able to keep up with them. He's going to change his attention to Squall here, because Squall's trying to kind of keep up with his team. Still not going to really able to catch up to him in time though. He is going to throw out that Tsunami and catch the red team's Garland while he wasn't paying attention to that. Actually picking up the first kill of the game there for the blue team. So now Garland once again trying to throw out those Tsunamis, just trying to pick up a kill here. Lightning and Squall both have pretty low health. Tries to catch Squall, but Squall's able to dash away. He does catch Squall as he's coming back in though, leads him to a wall rush, building up a ton of bravery now with some of his attacks there. He's going to throw that Tsunami, actually pick up a kill there on Squall as Squall was dashing towards Garland. Kind of catching Squall off guard there, picking up another kill here for the blue team. He's trying to catch Lightning, but she's dashing away. She knows if she doesn't dash away, she's going to get caught by Garland. Garland actually gets knocked away now. His stamina bar is really low, so he's going to have to come to the ground here. He tries to catch the red team Garland with his drill attack. He actually does catch him, knocking him away and building up some of his bravery. And now he's using that Thunder Gun, just kind of trying to zone out the red team. You see them dashing away from Garland. Don't really want to stay too close to him. Squall is actually going to be able to knock Garland away, though. Red team's going to go for a summon here. Might help them turn the tides of this match. They're going to need something to go down here. Red team has a couple members low on health, and they only have one health bar left. Garland's just putting down that Thundaga here, making some projectiles that red team's just going to have to dodge. He's also using that Tsunami just to kind of zone out the red team as well, and also hoping someone might run into it. So you see him here just trying to dodge Ramuh's attacks and also throwing out some projectiles, trying to dodge the red team Garland's projectiles as well. Doing a good job of avoiding the red team though. He does get caught by Garland, just taking a little bit of bravery damage here. Ramuh's going to use his final attack here. Is actually going to catch Garland, dropping his bravery down to 0 and kind of stopping him for a second. He's going to get his bravery broken there by Lightning. She's going to deal a little bit of damage to him. He's going to catch Squall with his X skill though, going to build that bravery right back up, all the way up to 2500 already. So now he's already in pretty lethal range for his HP attack. He's starting to throw it out now. He realizes this, trying to finish this game off. He's just trying to figure out who he wants to attack here. You see his two blue team members going in. He's throwing out that Tsunami on anybody he can. Using his AoE there, he actually caught Squall on the tip of that. And now he's back and just throwing out that Tsunami, hoping his teammates can lock somebody down. Titus is actually going to lock down the red team's Garland there. He was going to use that Slice and Dice, which would have picked up the kill anyway. But you see our Garland throw out that Tsunami, pick up that last kill of the game, and finish this one off. So he actually did a great job picking up all 3 of the kills here for the blue team. So this one just kind of really showcased that Tsunami and the strengths that it has. It definitely works better in a map like this as opposed to the first game, just because it's flat, a lot easier to kind of throw out those long range projectiles like that. And also this is kind of a bigger map. It's easier for you to kind of lose focus on all the members of the match. So he was able to just kind of throw it out on some of the unsuspecting red team members or anytime they were locked down by a teammate and pick up some kills that way. So great job there by Garland, kind of recognizing those opportunities. And also the Tsunami is a great HP attack just for zoning in general. You saw him kind of throwing that out a lot, just kind of forcing the red team members to move left or right, kind of splitting them up from each other though, and making it easier for his teammates to get picks, or kind of making it more difficult for the red team members to help each other. Between that and that Thundaga and the flare projectiles that he was throwing out, just kind of doing a good job of being a nuisance and just leaving projectiles and making it difficult for the red team to traverse the map. So it's definitely a different play style here than you see with the Earthquake. As the Earthquake, he's a little bit more kind of in your face. You see a lot of that as well with, him just using his bravery attacks in general, but this HP attack gives him kind of a more long range option, so it can definitely be useful in the right circumstances. Alright, so moving on into our last matchup here, Garland's going to be sticking with that same Tsunami HP attack. He's going to have Titus and Vaughn on his team, going up against a Vaughn Squall Cloud team. So mostly melee characters here. Vaughn has a little bit of poke with some fireballs and some thunder attacks. And also Cloud and Garland have a little bit of projectiles as well, but mostly just some melee heavy teams, a lot of speed here on the red team. So right off the bat, kind of similar to what we've seen in the last games, Garland is throwing out some of his projectiles, using that Thundaga. You see it kind of eating through some of the other enemies' projectiles. It has a lot of priority over some other projectiles or magic attacks, so it's a nice one to start with, just kind of eat enemy teams' projectiles. And so you see Squall's kind of moving in here. Garland tries to catch him with that dash attack, but Squall's able to move out of the way. So blue team's still just kind of sticking up, red team doing the same thing here, just throwing out some projectiles. Squall is trying to shark around, seeing if he can catch somebody off guard or out of position. And now he actually is going to catch Garland, going to knock him away. Our Titus player is going to be able to counteract that, knock Squall into the wall. Garland immediately follows up with that forward aerial, picking up some damage there. So you see once again he's starting to throw out that Tsunami attack, just trying to catch the enemies as they're focusing on his teammates here. Not really able to connect with anybody, but he's now just kind of moving forward slowly, trying to keep control of his area. Throwing out the Tsunami once again. He's going to throw it out here, actually connect there on Cloud, dealing a little bit of damage there. Going to attack Vaughn there, just kind of hitting his shield though. He's actually going to catch Cloud in the middle of a cross slash, hit him with that forward ground attack there. Kind of, you see that explosiveness he has there, he kind of just knocked away everybody, built up a ton of bravery there. He's already at lethal bravery. So great control there by Garland. He's actually going to throw that Tsunami out there, pick up a kill there on Vaughn while Titus was kind of preoccupying him. Red team is going to pick up a kill there on Titus though, so both teams trading out a health bar. Garland's going to rush forward, use that X skill to hold down Squall, and while he was dealing some damage there, actually the red team's bomb was able to come punish him for sticking around so long. So while it's a good move to lock somebody down and let your teammates combo, it also kind of forces you to stay in one position, so it can be dangerous as well. Now it looks like red team is going to be able to get their summon off here. They're going to have Ifrit. Garland, will see if he plays as defensive as he has been in the past. This is another one of those big open flat maps, so he's going to have to be kind of careful here. It looks like Titus is kind of being chased down by the red team. Squall tried to use Rough Divide here on Garland, but he was still recovering from an earlier attack, so he was able to avoid it. You see him now trying to dodge away from the red team as they try to use their HP attacks on him. He's going to use that Tsunami so he can help out his team from a distance, but not put himself in harm's way. Cloud is trying to come towards him. Cloud tries to use Cross Slash right in Garland's face, so he immediately punishes it with a Bravery attack. Nice awareness there by him. Squall trying to lock Garland down, just hitting him with one quick Bravery attack, but Garland able to use that AoE attack in his neutral ground move there, just kind of dealing a bit of damage and knocking away the red team. Looks like blue team Vaughn able to pick up a kill there on Squall, evening the game out once again, 1 health bar left for both teams. So Garland going to use that forward aerial, dealing a ton of bravery damage there to Cloud, knocking him away and allowing the blue team to summon here. So a really even match so far. We'll see if blue team's going to be able to clutch it out and finish it off with Rama active. So you see Garland now moving in with the rest of his teammates here, trying to make something happen. He's going to use that forward aerial on Cloud once again, building up his bravery into lethal range here. We'll see if he tries to throw out some Tsunamis. He's going to try and catch Cloud there. Blue team Vaughn's actually going to be able to knock him away though, so Garland not going to connect with any attacks. Still moving in towards the red team though. He's going to throw out that Tsunami, not going to pick up a hit, and actually he's going to take a little bit of bravery damage here. Nothing too significant though. He's going to throw out Tsunami there. He's actually going to connect on Squall, but because he lost that bravery, it's not going to be enough to kill. He's actually going to catch Cloud with his X skill, locking him down in position, giving Titus enough time to run up there, catch Cloud with Slice and Dice, dealing further HP damage to the red team. You see they're all really low in health. And actually, as I'm saying that, Garland's going to throw out that Tsunami, kind of caught Vaughn as he was dashing around, not really sure where to go, and going to finish off this game here. Like I said, all the members of red team had really low health, so they were probably all a little nervous trying to survive there. Garland able to take good advantage of that and pick up that last kill. So another really great game there by Garland, really showing off the strength of that Tsunami HP attack, really able to help out his teammates from a distance and just kind of catching the red team off guard, just like we saw in the last game. So it's a really strong HP attack. That and that Earthquake are two of his really good ones. He's got some other great HP attacks as well, but you see those kind of the most often, at least from what I've seen. So yeah, great job here by the blue team, a pretty close game, but Garland especially was able to kind of help finish that game out. Did a lot of work with that Tsunami, dealt a ton of HP damage, and was able to pick up the victory there. So one of the things I really liked about this game, aside from the really good Tsunami use, you saw a lot of the control that Garland can bring to a team. You saw towards the beginning how he was kind of, as the red team was trying to move in, once again you saw him just kind of blowing them up, dealing a ton of bravery damage as they got too close to him, building him up into lethal bravery. And then also a couple of other times you saw whenever Squall would try to move in on Garland or other characters try to flank him. He's got that AoE neutral ground attack that's great for kind of knocking people away who are close to you, maybe not directly in front of you, but it's kind of dissuading others from coming at you and also catching anyone off guard that's too close. So really, he's got a lot of control with his moves. And also, when you look at that forward aerial and also some of his projectiles, he's got decent range. The area on some of his range attacks might not be that great, like especially that forward aerial. It's a really small area of impact, but the range on it is pretty good. So if you can catch somebody with that that's directly in front of you, it can be a really good move to build up that bravery and just kind of knock enemies away, keep them zoned out from their allies. So Garland is definitely a strong character. He's one of the more offensive-oriented Vanguard characters, kind of similar to how Sephiroth is really offensive. Garland kind of in the same way. Not like Warrior of Light, who, is really defensive-based. Garland definitely the offensive counterpart to him. If he can start getting his attacks going, he can really build up that Soul of Chaos buff and really start to be a nuisance for the enemy team. Garland can be a really strong component to an offensive, melee-heavy team. With all that control that he has, with the AoEs and just kind of the decent range, and also having some pocket projectiles, it can kind of make it difficult for the enemy team to figure out how to go in on him and really try to exploit his weaknesses, because his speed is really his biggest weakness, but if his teammates can kind of help counterbalance that, like for example, you saw in this game whenever Garland got caught by Squall at one point towards the beginning, Tidus was able to immediately punish Squall for that, and then Garland followed up with an attack on Squall. So really just having somebody that can balance out that weakness on Garland can be really good, and it can make him really shine with his strengths. So you kind of just really have to pick a good team to balance Garland out. So if you can really use Garland in a situation that allows him to kind of hang back instead of having to rush in the middle of the battlefield and start holding ground, but if you can kind of let him hang back and hold his own position and just kind of force the enemy team to come to him, or allow him to kind of flank the enemy team as they're focusing on his allies, he can be incredibly strong and really start building up that buff and start dealing a ton of damage. So that's kind of the niche it feels like that Garland is in, and just kind of, he's the type of character that can be really dangerous whenever you try to kind of invade his space. And at the same time, if you don't pay him any attention at all, he can become just as dangerous. So you really just have to be careful when you're playing against a Garland. Alright, so hopefully that was a good brief overview here of Garland. Those are some really good games by him. All three of those games he had a really high score. He had a really big impact in each of those games and really did a great job. Like I said, the YouTuber we followed here, he's one of the top ranked Garlands. He was Crystal A in some of these matches here, I think some of the more recent ones. So definitely a great Garland player. Definitely check out his YouTube channel if you want to see more videos of him playing Garland. He also plays a couple of other characters as well. Definitely a great player to watch. Alright, so thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again next week with another character commentary. Have a good one.